Titles, go.
Anti-geeked.
Don't drop the mic.
10 strokes.
Botch Queen?
Medina, New York. Funky and cold.
Music pie.
Hudak.
Sleeping my way through college.
Georgia Pours.
Back in the day.
Baseball communism.
Shit's gotten weirder.
Chicken Paul?
I am the shark.
I love poo and stapler. Have you seen my
right.
stapler?
Yes, we see the stapler.
It's my
Let's
stapler.
do this.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello, welcome to this edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
Corbs.
I'm Jack.
And I'm DC.
Guys, it's got you geeked.
Well, I'm geeked that my wife is finally home after a 16-day stay in the hospital. Now, I had planned when we were originally going to record this episode months ago, I was going to turn on my brand new pinball machine behind me, and now it would have its, the custom topper that you guys have all seen. And feel free to share a picture in the show notes, Paul. But really, I'm just glad to have her home. It's been rough. We're not out of the woods yet. I am going to do an anti-geek, though, because as you guys know, I've had an exceptionally ridiculous day, and it didn't stop with the last text that I sent you guys. So just to recap what you guys all know, my wife insisted that we were under a voodoo curse today because I'm going to pull up my phone so I can read this to you. Our roof started leaking. Our touchless garbage can stopped working. And that's important because of Avery's issue, she can't touch the garbage can, her sensory issues. So that's a pretty big deal. Our dog got attacked by an animal in the backyard, and we ended up having to take her to get a rabies booster this afternoon. The internet went down several times, and I finally figured out the problem and got it fixed. While I'm on the phone with Verizon, my mother is calling me over and over and over again. Suddenly, the heat lamps in the snake cage stopped working because the alarm starts going off behind me. I picked the lamps up. I've never been able to pick those lamps up since we bought them. They've always been hot. It just started working again. I don't know. And while I'm looking at the heat lamps, I step in a pile of cat puke that I hadn't seen. So this is where we left off. Since then, it's continued to be interesting. So I'm getting the cat's insulin this evening. Pull it down to 5, like I always do, and then I push out 2 units because he's supposed to get 3. As I pull it out to 5, I look over to my left, and Avery is over there taking an entire canister of peanut butter-filled pretzel nuggets and trying to dump them into a Ziploc bag and proceeds to dump them all directly on the floor and start freaking out. I don't even know why she's doing this. I'm like, what the fuck? I put it down. There's a whole big kerfuffle there. But I'm trying to figure out why you're even doing this, because apparently tomorrow is bring something other than a water bottle to school day, whatever the fuck that is. And then I forget to push out the 2 units. So I give the cat more insulin than I'm supposed to. Freaking out, worried about it. I know the internet says there might not even be an issue. I mean, if some people are like, oh, your cat's going to die, take it to the emergency vet. Other people are like, hey, not a big deal, just watch him. I decide I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do some of the things they say anyway. Because I fed him, and then I was going to give him some Caro syrup, light corn syrup. They say rub it on the gums. I'm like, you know what? I know that cat. If I try to rub it on his gums, I'm going to end up with holes in my fingers. So I put it in a plunger syringe. Have Avery hold him, proceed to stick it in his mouth and squirt. Now, I think you got plenty of it, but I didn't discover until I sat down here that I got a lot of it on me too. And there are parts of me right now that are sticky and not in the fun way. So I'm just
I
like,
know.
I'm just wondering what's next. What's
Never say that. Never say
Never.
that.
Never ever.
That is a challenge to the universe.
Oh, I just might be ready to challenge the universe.
Oh no.
Go on,
No.
guys.
Yeah. So what's got me geeked is my sister got married this past weekend, so I have a new brother-in-law, which is pretty awesome. So have you guys ever heard of, I'm gonna read this, Medina, New York?
Yeah.
Heard of it?
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
You've heard of
Northern-
it, okay.
Where it's
I hear it's funky and cold there.
Yeah. So literally you're
Nice.
getting off on exit 48 for Pembroke, and literally 5 minutes from this place, I'm in farm country. I'm like, where is my sister getting married? So it's called Medina, New York, and it's pretty cool. It was called the Bent's Opera House, Bent Opera House. So it was an opera house built in the 19th century. People like P.T. Barnum toured there, which is pretty cool. And it's neat. It's actually their hotel rooms are tailor-made, so they're custom. So they only have maybe like 12 hotel rooms, but they're custom, like I said. And the room I stayed in, it was called Green with Envy, which it's a whole decked out green room with a crystal crown over the bed and a very big life-size poster of Anne Boleyn, Henry VIII's wife, which is kind of weird. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Each room has a frame TV and they're mirrors. So you can actually look in the mirror and it's kind of neat. Like frame TVs, I thought they would have a picture, but no, these are actual mirrors that you could actually see in, which I thought was kind of cool. Other rooms, like I said, I had to write this down. It's pretty interesting. Other rooms were called Purple Haze, Study in Blue, Very Well Read. So I thought this was kind of interesting, this hotel. I really liked it. And the opera house was really neat because like my sister and her husband, well, 15-minute ceremony. Perfect. So my sister wanted me to do a reading. It was a verse from a Sarah Bareilles song called I Choose You. So since she's my older sister, I'm the younger brother, I always like to tease her. So she kept asking me all week leading up to it. She's like, do you have it down? Do you have it down? I'm like, yeah. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. She's like, that's not the verse. I'm like, okay. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things are gonna get brighter. She's like, God damn it, this is nice wedding day. I'm like, I got you. But nope, I did it for her. And I was actually gonna look at my sister and my brother-in-law, but they're crying already. I'm like, I'll stare at my mom because she's very stone-faced and literally like other people in the audience because my sister was crying, but it went well. Like I said, I have a new brother-in-law. It was a great wedding. And the reception, my brother-in-law wanted me to do a song, which I can't sing, as you guys know, but I perform. So my
Like
parents
William
were
Shatner?
like William Shatner.
Okay.
But like, no, like, so my mom and dad said, don't do anything stupid. This is her special day. But like literally my parents were like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care what you do. I'm like, okay, that's just my green card. So my brother-in-law played Scotty Doesn't Know.
Oh,
So
God.
perfect. So I literally got on stage where nobody's on stage, mind you. They're all on the bottom part of the opera house. So like I actually was like, I want a stage. So I literally got a microphone and I got on stage and I sang the song. And no joke, I jumped into the crowd and I was crowd surfing, singing Scotty Doesn't Know.
Outstanding.
And literally my parents were like, are you serious? You really did that? I'm like, that was only level 6, man. I dropped the mic at the end and I was like, this was perfect.
You know better.
What?
That shit's expensive.
What's expensive?
Microphones.
Don't drop the mic.
Oh, I dropped the mic. I had to. It was great. But like I literally just jumped in the crowd and I got caught. It was awesome and great time, great wedding, great time. And yeah, that's what I did this week. And my sister got married, but I got to do what I wanted to do.
Now,
Outstanding.
the question is, did you hook up with a bridesmaid?
There was only a maid of honor and a best man. That was it. There's no bridesmaids or groomsmen. And everybody at this wedding, Hugh, had a significant other with them. So I was the only person there that was single. And that's okay.
Is
didn't
that
care.
a new thing? Because the wedding I attended this weekend also had no bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Like the groom had like all of his buddies, he had like all of his groomsmen, and the only witness on the women's side was the groom's sister.
So yeah,
maybe it's
you
just
can.
because women
You can.
can't get along.
My sister's one of her good friends is named Jackie. She married them. It was 15 minutes. And I'll leave you with this one. Actually, this is pretty cool. All the speeches, usually the bride has the maid of honor like, oh, I met her in kindergarten, or the groom's like, I met him in first grade at baseball. They talked about the bride and groom, which was kind of cool. I liked how they did that. But like I said, I want to leave you with this one. My sister's best friend did her speech. She roasted my dad in the speech, and it was awesome. So, little backstory. My dad put out a law in Camillus about noise ordinance with vehicles. My dad hated the basses in cars. So he said, if you have your bass going, you're going to get a ticket. So pretend where my microphone is my house. So people be driving by my house will be like, boom, 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 boom. So they would turn off their bass as they would pass my house. I literally go to my dad after that speech. I'm like, wasn't that a great speech? He says, no joke, and I quote, he's like, I love Misty to pieces, but that little shitbag, she called me out. I'm like, Dad, you had that coming. He's like, yeah, I probably did. And he downed like a whole glass of wine. He's like, I'm going to get another. Do you want one? I'm like, sure, why not? But it was a good time. But that was a good wedding weekend.
Nice.
What
All
about
right.
you, Corbs or DC?
You want to go, Dan?
Yeah, what's got me geeked is I mean, it leads, towards the sports side is NHL is back, and I've been watching it every night it's on. We get the free preview, NHL Center Ice, and so I get to watch the Capitals. But tonight, watching Sabres. I was watching Sabres and Penguins and waiting for the next game to come on. I can't remember who's playing. So NHL's back. I am also watching a video and playing Baldur's Gate at the same time, trying to become OPS right away in the game. I'm close in the first act, so that way when I get later on, I can be fucking one-shotting people. And so I've been playing Baldur's Gate pretty much nonstop, and then every once in a while I'll play college football, and I just downloaded two new games. I downloaded the Mafia, and I downloaded a game called Maneater, which is you play as the shark, and you get to eat everything and everyone. And it's I just was playing it a little while ago, and I died because I got eaten by an alligator. Because you start off as a little tiny bull, like a little tiny bull shark, and then as you level up, you get bigger and you grow into like a megalodon, basically. But it's really cool. You get to play as the shark and eat. I was eating people off boats and people at the beach, and so yeah, it's pretty fun. But that's what's got me geeked.
Baby shark, baby shark. Sorry.
Damn it, Jack.
Corbs?
So I got a couple of things because it's been a while since we've been together. So first thing that for me is golfing. Last weekend, I actually beat my buddy Justin for the first time in probably 10 years for 18 holes. I beat him by one shot. So that's got me pretty stoked. That was pretty fun. Him and I've gotten better since I started playing more. I took some time off after my son was born. I didn't play for probably 8 to 10 years or so when it was just him and I. But I finally got back into it when he got a little bit older. So that, when my mom would come over and watch him so I could play. It's kind of my only outlet as opposed to, doing this and out playing D&D with you guys. So, I've gotten better, which is nice. I've gone from shooting in the mid 90s to the mid 80s. So I've saved about 10 strokes off of my golf game in the past two and a half years or so. So that's fun. That's always exciting when I'm playing a lot better. The other thing that's got me geeked is my son, is a senior. He graduates this June. he's looking to go to college, which, as many of you know, I did not go to college. Well, I did go to college, but I don't really consider going to college. No, I'm not talking ITT. I went to OCC,
Rock
but
on the rock.
I didn't really go to OCC. Like I went up there, but never really went to class.
Is it kind of like the line from Office Space? I wouldn't say I was missing it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I found a good place to take a nap, and that's what I did while I was there.
Oddly enough, that's what you did at ITT too.
That's true.
That's what you're doing now.
That's
No.
true. I'm sleeping my way through this. So, but so my son, we've been to like a few college fairs. Went to one last year up here at his high school, and then we went to one down in Binghamton at the college down there, and they had a whole bunch of schools down there. And we decided we were going to go visit as many of these places as we could while we were at this college fair, which is what you do. It's just a cattle call. So we got a bunch of schools that he was looking at. OCC was one of them. He's looking to go up to OCC for at least a year to get kind of his core classes out of the way. And if you go to OCC, and I don't know, I think I might have said this before, but if you go to OCC, if you go to a community college for 2 years and then transfer to another SUNY school, there's a program that SUNY will pay for the rest of your 4-year degree. So if he goes to OCC for 2 years, gets all his core classes, maybe a few classes for his degree, they'll pay for him to go to another SUNY school for free. So that's kind of what I'm leaning. I'm kind of trying to push him to that so that he doesn't have to worry about the college debt and all that. So, but the school that he wants to go to, and I didn't know about this until over the summer when I was talking to a friend of mine at work. Her son is actually a freshman there this year. It's called SUNY Poly Institute of Technology. It's in Utica. So he really wants to go there because he wants to go in their computer science program, which is a good computer science program. They reached out to me because we put my phone number down so he get the text messages, so he wasn't getting them in the middle of school. But they reached out. They're having an open house this coming Saturday, whatever day it is, the 19th, I think it is, 18th, whatever day. 19th.
19th.
19, yeah.
So the 19th. So we're going. I registered him for that, so we're going up to that on Saturday to check out the campus. So that'll be nice because that's kind of where he wants to go. So, but I'm hoping I can convince him to do OCC first, so he can get that paid for.
Get the core classes out of the way cheaper. Because that
exactly
shit'll all transfer.
Yep, that's exactly what he said the same thing when I was talking to him about it. Tuesday home when I got Monday night when I got home, I got the text message. He's like, well, I was hoping maybe go to OCC and get my core classes out of the way so that when I go someplace, I can just jump into my study, my curriculum and do those. Yeah, his major. So that's what we're looking for. But it's going to be nice to finally actually get to go to the school that he wants to go to. We've been trying to get there. I've reached out to the school a couple of times because they only do tours during the week, like Monday through Thursday and some Fridays. So I emailed them. I'm like, what do you do if I can't get there? Like I'm a single parent and I work a job during the week. The only time I can get there is on the weekends. Like, well, we don't do tours on the weekends.
Right. Because it's a school and, yeah.
Right. And I wanted to take him. I was going to take him up there over the summer, but I wanted to take him up there when there were students on campus.
Right.
So I wanted him to I wanted him to see what it's like to have a full campus and see what it's like around there. So hopefully on Saturday we'll be able to get a little bit of that feel. So yes, Jack.
You said your coworker's son goes there?
Yep.
So what I did, because I did OCC and then Cortland for 2 years, I had a friend that went to Cortland. Literally, why don't you see, it's your call, but you can see if he could stay a weekend up with him so he could see what it's like there. So maybe he can go to the dining hall, go to like some stuff like that, maybe spend a weekend with him or just an overnight trip to see how it is and get you probably hit a college party, but see what the feel is like.
Yeah.
But it's your call.
And I was talking, the person I was talking to, it's actually a friend. Like I've known her for about 15 years or so, but we hadn't talked in a while. No, we hadn't talked in a while. She's actually best friends with Justin's wife. So, and that's how I met her. Her son goes up there, and her son and my son are kind of similar. They're very kind of homebodies. They don't really come out of the rooms. They're gamers. They're on the computer a lot, watching YouTube a lot. So they're kind of similar like that. So that might actually work, but I also don't know if it'll work because her son isn't really that kind of outgoing, and neither is my son. So that might be two halves of the same cube type of thing.
Yeah,
So-
but if they know somebody, like it's like I
Right.
know they're both introverts and all that stuff, and they're like homebodies more into themselves. And you're doing that, yes, Paul. But like you said though, like you could be doing a favor for a friend and all that stuff.
Right.
So
Sure.
it's an idea, but
Yeah, no, and I to be honest with you, Jack, never thought about that. That's a pretty decent idea. I can actually talk to her. I can email her at work and see if that would be something that maybe even like later on next semester type of thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, not a bad idea. I like that.
sure.
Best part is you'll drive right by the Walmart where they found a dead body while we were working there. So
There's always a Walmart in a college town. You notice that?
Wait a minute, you found a dead body in
Oh,
Walmart?
yeah.
I didn't find it. We got kicked off of the job site. It's back when in my construction days. We were doing concrete, and literally the cops showed up and kicked everybody like off of the site because they found a dead body in the trunk of a car.
Pretty
Was it a
fucked
mob
up.
hit?
Was it what?
Was it a mob hit?
I can't confirm that. I mean, I wasn't involved.
Was it Jimmy Hoffa?
No, he's in Giant Stadium.
No, he's not. You'll never find Jimmy Hoffa. He's not anywhere where it's dry. That's what I've heard.
With the fishes, see?
Yep.
Sleeps with the
Yeah.
fishes.
Yep.
Him and
Because
Luca.
I watch Michael Francis. He used to be a top guy in the mob, and he left the life. And he was talking to somebody. I watched an interview with him, and he's like, I don't know for sure, but I can tell you this. He's not in Giant Stadium. He's not anywhere around there, but I can confirm that the place that he is extremely wet. So
His mom. Yeah.
Ew.
Wow.
Ew.
damn.
All right.
right.
His
Back
own
to-
mom or
alright.
the other guy?
So,
All right,
yes.
Corbs, back to what your
No,
son was
I'm good. I'm
doing.
done.
You're good
I
now?
was gonna
Okay.
say, I mean, that's the most long-winded Corbs has been in a long time, so let's cut that shit off quick. Now mine is pretty fucking lame, but I'm just glad to be back, like in my house. It's been a long time since I've been home. I've been bouncing around the fucking country. More of my Atlanta trips, and like literally I fly home fucking Thursday evening to turn around and leave again Friday morning. So it's been nonstop. But as I was messaging you guys, I got to watch some cool movies this trip. Did I catch you guys up on the second one? I know I told you on the way down I watched Civil War.
Yep.
And then on the way back I watched The Fall Guy.
Hmm.
Where did you find that? Or did you rent it?
No, it was on the plane. It was just on
Okay.
Deltas. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you want to watch The Fall Guy, we'll talk off mic. I can help you out.
Okay.
Legally, it's not like, "Arr, I'm not a pirate" kind of thing. But two very good movies. They were a lot of fun. Since we're not doing a streaming report later, sorry, Laura. But those were both really good movies. Enjoyed myself quite a bit. But glad to actually be home for more than 2 days in a row. It's kind of nice.
Sleep in your own bed, probably too.
I mean, if I learn to keep my mouth shut, maybe it's.
Oh,
That ain't gonna
No, I'm
happen.
just kidding.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. either.
yeah, you're never gonna.
Yep. But mine's gonna be short because Corpses wasn't. So I think it's a good time to throw it to break, and when we come back, we're gonna get the news. Stick with us, guys.
Hi, this is Craig Palmer. If you ever aspire to be a wrestler, come on down to Upstate Wrestling Entertainment, located at 1121 Glenwood Ave in United, New York. We're open every Tuesday and Thursday from 6:30 p.m. till 9 p.m. Come on down and join us. See you then.
Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a key back issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
Talking to the stranger with the skeleton flute was his first mistake. Playing it was his second. Be careful what you wish for never meant anything to 12-year-old Sam until the night he blows into the skeleton flute and wishes for his parents to stay together. The stranger promised Sam his greatest desire, but the morning after the low, warbling note came out of the glowing flute, Sam's life has been turned upside down. His brother and sister don't exist, and his best friend doesn't know him. His parents are together and happy, but is it worth sacrificing everyone else he loves? Caught in a web of unintended consequences, Sam must try to get his old life back, despite the challenges that wait for him if he succeeds. And that means uncovering the mystery behind the strange man's identity and the skeleton flute. The Skeleton Flute hits shelves on August 27th. You can pre-order your copy now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your local indie, and most major book retailers.
Now, before Paul decides we are going to make the show a music thing and we all sit here bopping our heads to nothing so YouTube doesn't pull us down for using unlicensed music, here's the news. First up, not taking my advice from the previous sentence. It's been a while since we've been here. A ton has happened in the world, and things have gotten weird. At a town hall the other day, presidential hopeful Donald Trump stopped answering questions and said, and I quote, "Let's not do any more questions. Let's just listen to music. Let's make it into a music. Who the hell wants to hear questions, right?" And then proceeded to bop around the stage for the next 39 minutes while his ally and winner of the hottest Draugr in Bleak Falls Barrow 2016, Kristi Noem, tried to pretend like this was all okay and normal. Just a few things here. I mean, just the sentence itself. Let's make it into a music. A music what? Music pie? Music street race? Are we knitting a music scarf for Miss Winter is Coming? Is this a sneaky unveiling of the sequel to Trump Steaks and Trump University? Trump a music. We don't know what it is, but half of you will buy it anyway. And then there's the part about who wants to hear questions. I mean, he knows what a town hall is, right? The literal point of going to one is to ask questions and get answers. I imagine the who in that equation is everyone in that room except the guy without answers and his dog and goat murdering corpse bride best friend. For real. When the they're eating pets thing came up a while back, I thought I could have fun with that, and this shit could not get weirder. It has gotten weirder. And all I have to say to those on the side is he's literally deciding you aren't worth talking to. He would rather dance to music he's being sued for using. He wants to make America dance again. And while not an entirely ignoble goal, you should be voting for that shit on your phone, not at the ballot box. Next up, life on Mars. Who knew the Mars Perseverance? Whoa, wow, I had trouble with that word. Mars Perseverance rover was such an artist. NASA's released images of the path the lonely rover took to get around obstacles on its way to an area called Bright Angel a few months ago. However, that path it took drew a gigantic several 100-meter long penis on the Martian landscape. The kind that might show up on Jack's face if he ever gets drunk and passes out on a GeekPod convention trip. In Sharpie. Don't get any ideas, DC. The cocktastic skills it took to map this dong into a planet is truly one of the bright spots in our effort to tame the stars. Like we have tamed everything on our planet with our dicks. Except lions. You don't tame a lion with your dick. Then again, what do I know? I'm not a lion tamer. And finally, a little tip. Not in relation to the previous story, that thing was huge. There is a new fad of writing no tax on tips on restaurant receipts. I'm not sure how adding something to a receipt is going to affect massive change to the service industry, but I also don't know if you can fuck a lion into domesticity, so I'll let that go. What I did find interesting was that some famous people are posting pictures of their receipts with this new slogan on social media. One such person is lawmaker and Mickey Rourke lookalike Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is like the joke that keeps Paul's losing it. The joke that keeps on giving, isn't she? She posted a $721 receipt earlier this year. A $120 tip on a $600 check. Who's shocked at the full 20% on that? Must have been a white waitress. But social media is asking the question, how in touch with her constituents can she be if she's dropping $700 on a meal? Some folks correctly pointing out that for some families, that's a few months worth of groceries. Now, I'm not saying she doesn't deserve to go out to an expensive dinner as a treat. It could have been a special occasion. I mean, I've never had that special an occasion, but whatever. I think the issue here is she could have written no tax on tips on a Starbucks receipt. This smacks of flaunting wealth, or at the very least, having zero self-awareness at all. Georgia, whom she represents, is the 12th poorest state in the country. And if that doesn't seem too bad, remember, this is out of 50. Clearly, the poors of Georgia are not on her mind when she's eating out and posting to social media. But she remembered to bring her blown-up photos of Hunter Biden's dick to Congress. Democracy in action. And that's the news, kids. Now, if you are struggling with naming your new pet chicken, I have some advice for you. My daughter informed me last week that Paul is a very common chicken name. I initially did not believe that anyone would name a chicken Paul. What I didn't know at the time is that our neighbors across the street indeed have a chicken named Paul. Paul?
To paraphrase Corbs, I got nothing.
Seriously.
But I do. In other news, skidologists are experts who study poo. Back to you, Corbs.
Did you say to study poo?
Poo!
Okay.
I love poo.
Now do they study it in the skid mark?
Poo poo. Diarrhea.
Just asking.
Poo
All
poo.
right.
All right. Well, I guess it's sports time.
Spurts.
Squirts.
Where do we start? Well, like Danny said earlier, NHL has started. We've watched the Canucks three times so far, and they have yet to win, which is great. Oh, and 1-1, I think it is. Whatever it is, they've got a loss, an overtime loss, and a shootout loss. Great. Keep
They
counting.
can bring guns to those games now?
Yes.
Who's gonna get their first win? Them or the White Sox next year?
Wow.
Damn.
That's that.
Damn.
Deep. That's deep. That's deep, Jack.
Sorry.
I mean,
They
listen,
actually
why
made,
don't you just kick him in the nuts again?
I am sorry,
Serious.
Corbs. I love you,
God
man, but I'm
damn,
so
serious.
sorry. Your teams aren't doing anything. Maybe,
no, that hurts. That hurts.
maybe pick up politics.
So no, I think the Canucks will be okay. Their goalie is hurt right now. He was hurt last year. He's hurt a little bit this year. I don't know when he's supposed to be back, but
I know. Tell me about it. He's on my fantasy team.
yeah, I know. So I think once he comes back, I think they'll be okay. Right now they're playing with their backup goalie, who last year in the playoffs played well, but he's only played in until the last two of the last 3 games. He's only played 4 NHL games, so he's not really. I mean, they think he's going to be a good goalie, but he's not your top goalie yet. So, and the hard part about it is they're winning the first game 4-1 after 1 and lost 6-5. They're winning the second game, game 2-1 and lost 4-3 in overtime. So I don't know. In the last game they got destroyed by Tampa Bay. So that's fun. And I I did get tickets to go to I keep saying Vancouver, Jesus Christ, to Buffalo again, because Vancouver and Buffalo are playing the day after Thanksgiving in Buffalo. So Bryce and I are going to that again this year.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. Got the MLB playoffs. The two teams that they figure are going to be in the World Series are in the League Championship Series, the Yankees and the Dodgers, two highest payrolls. I hate to see it. I hate to see the teams that buy their players get what they're supposed to be getting, but it looks like that's going to be the matchup. I would have liked to have seen Kansas City get there. They just lost to the Yankees in the League Championship Series. So, yes, sir.
Just a question.
Yeah.
Being someone who doesn't know sports ball, I hear names of teams and everything. Is it my imagination, or is Yankees versus Dodgers? I don't want to say it's a dream thing, but isn't that like the two most popular teams of all time?
That is correct.
Oh, okay, all right.
That is
You're
very
right.
correct.
Yeah.
They are the two out of the three most winningest teams. The Yankees have the most championship series. If anybody can give me the number,
27.
27, yeah.
There you go. I figured you would get it. I figured Jack would come close.
I was gonna say 26, but yeah.
I did. Paul, maybe. I know Hugh wouldn't have gotten it because he just said he doesn't do sports.
42.
That was Jackie Robinson's number.
Yep. So
37.
yeah, it would be nice to see the two of them in it again, because they were big in the world. They were together in the World Series in the late 70s and 80. They were the big rivals at that time. They're still big rivals, but it's teams that are spending billions of dollars on players, and that's billions with a B, not M. So I mean, when the Dodgers,
Can you spell billions with an M? How
No.
does that work?
Millions.
But millions?
right?
Millions.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with it. I think these teams that are just throwing money at these players are taken away from the game. I've always said that. Your smaller teams, smaller markets, Kansas City's and the Pittsburgh.
So what you want, Paul, get your pen ready, is baseball communism.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, so they're right in the middle of it now. The Yankees are up 2-0. I think the Dodgers are tied 1-1.
Yes.
Okay. I really have been watching.
Yeah, they won the first, the Mets beat them in the second.
That's right. I do remember. And actually, they beat them last night, so that's how I know that, because I said it in a hockey game. What else?
Corbs, I like what you're saying, though, because back in the day, I don't follow baseball anymore, but I used to follow the Atlanta Braves. They were my team.
Right.
And it was just because before it was called TBS, it was
Yep.
called the Superstation.
It was
So I remember watching it on that, and I was like, yeah. Like you said, the Yankees where Steinbrenner would build their team,
Yep.
and the Braves would just Atlanta. Yes, that's a big name city, but you probably know it more than me. But didn't they win like 14 straight division titles or something like
division
that?
titles, yep. 14 straight division titles, yes. And they were a small market team at the time. I mean, that's when they had Maddox and Glavine and Smoltz and Avery.
John Rocker.
Yeah, Rocker was there. You had Chipper Jones. You had
Javi Lopez.
Andrew Jones, David Justice.
I love it.
That was a lineup that was, built for baseball. It wasn't like you're taking the best players and putting them on a team and seeing what you can get. I mean, they did that last year with the Yankees. They did it with the Dodgers. Neither one of them got to the World Series. So, enough about that. What else we got?
Give us your 2 cents of the 2 wide receiver trades in the NFL that happened recently.
Don't talk football.
Yes.
No, I know Devontae Adams going to the Jets is big news.
Mm-hmm.
He's reuniting with Rodgers. I don't see that helping them all that much. I think that'll get them over a little bit over the edge, but I just think there's more there that needs to be fixed. I think it's going to help them, but I don't think it's going to get them to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
No, they have too many offensive line troubles.
Yes, offensive line troubles, exactly.
They have to keep Rodgers upright, and they can't.
Right. He's spending too much time on his ass.
I have the same
And
problem.
they actually showed it on Monday. Was it Monday night he played?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Monday night. Like, he got hit a couple of times, and he was on the sidelines, like, looking like he had a concussion.
He's 40 years old.
Right. He's on the downside of his career there. And actually, I was reading an article. They're talking about his replacement in New York. If you can tell me who that might be, I'll give you $1. Because
Are they
nobody
are they in the NFL now, or are they
No.
college?
are in college.
Are we talking about Arch Manning?
There you go.
I get $1.
You get $1. Next
Witnesses.
time I see you, I'll give you $1.
Oh, goody. Go buy a snow cone.
So yeah, I saw that article. I saw that article today that they were talking about drafting him to be his replacement. So,
But I do like the Amari Cooper move to the Bills, though. That
I
was
do too.
actually cool.
I think that's going to help the Bills. The Bills also got some other issues, but they did not have a number one receiver, and I think that solidifies that position for them. He'll be a good possession receiver. He's a good route runner. He's one of those guys that runs the routes, and he'll be in the spot where he's supposed to be. He doesn't make the wrong cut. He doesn't do anything like that. He's very precise in what he does. DC will admire that because he was part of the Raiders before
Yes.
Devontae Adams was there.
Yep.
So I think that's going to help them get over the hump. That's going to make them a better team. I think that makes them legitimate contenders for the Super Bowl. That trade for him, I think that makes them a Super Bowl contender. They got great running backs. They didn't have a top receiver. Josh Allen was running the ball too much. I think this will gives that a better feel to that offense. The defense is still a little shaky. They're starting to get some players back, which is good for them. So I don't like the Bills. I have never liked the Bills, but I think this helps them become a better team. And Amari Cooper's on my fantasy football team. So the more he throws to him, the more I'll be happy. That's about. I mean, NFL. It's still early. As far as picking a winner, who I see is gonna get there. The Chiefs look good, but they've lost a lot of players to injuries, season-ending injuries too. So I don't know how that's gonna pan out for them. So I won't get into too much yet on that. We'll let this season kind of play out a little bit first before we get into projecting who we think is going to make the playoffs and the Super Bowl and whatnot. College football, Syracuse is 5-1, 4-1.
4-1, I think.
4-1,
Yep.
yeah.
4-1.
4-1. Yep. And they're off. They're on a bye again this week. They're not playing this week. Kyle McCord looks good. The team looks decent. I think they've started hitting their stride a little bit. They're going to get more into ACC play when they come back. They play
Pittsburgh.
Is it okay? This is Pittsburgh. You're right. Thank you, Jim.
Mhm.
They're another team that was ranked. They beat Georgia Tech, who was ranked. They beat UNLV, who was ranked, and now they're playing Pittsburgh, who's also going to be ranked should be ranked when they play, unless they lose this week. I don't know if they're playing. So if they can beat them, that'll be 3 ranked teams. Hopefully, that puts them in the top 25 because they're not there yet. They were close until they lost to whoever they lost.
Stanford on a last-second field goal.
Yep, Stanford. Yep. So they were close. I think if they'd beat Stanford, they would probably be in the top 25, somewhere close to the top 20, I would believe. But the loss to Stanford is a big loss. So college football is nice to get to, Kyle McCord's only going to be there a year. He's a senior this year. So hopefully this helps them get better players coming. So the only other big news that I can think of is I don't know if Jack or Danny has seen this, but the local athlete from here that's playing in the WNBA. I don't know if you guys saw it, Brianna Stewart. She's from Cicero, North Syracuse, and she went to UConn. That's the connection to the area. Her wife received death threats because she missed a free throw in game 1 of the WNBA finals that would have given them the lead. I think there was like 0.8 seconds left or whatever. So they would have won. And then she missed a layup in overtime that would have tied the game or something to that effect.
Tied the game.
Yeah, when it tied the game. And her wife had put her email address, her mistake, I would assume, on her Instagram account, and she started getting death threats, stuff like that, to her personal email. So
They
they
say
brought
nobody cares about women's basketball. Clearly, they do.
they do, yes.
See?
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so she came out and said that her wife had gotten some death threats, and she brought it up to the WNBA and stuff like that. So they're taking
Police and
they're taking action against it and making sure that they are at least
she got death threats, homophobic threats, death
Yep.
threats,
Yeah.
Jesus
and
Christ.
they have a young daughter too.
Yeah,
So,
they have a daughter, young daughter, and they just had. I think they have. They just had
they
a
have
second.
a son. They have a son.
Yeah, second kid. Their son is going to be a year old this week or next week. She
Yeah.
said. So yeah, that it's terrible that and it's not the first time it's happened. So
It's not the only person it's happened
Right.
to.
exactly, a lot of players have said they've gotten death threats and homophobic threats and racial threats and all that stuff. And there's no place for that. I mean, these are athletes. They're people. They're like you and me. It's just their life is in full view of everybody else's. So
Oh, why don't we ever get that?
Nobody's listening.
that's not true. Two people are
Well,
listening.
Kelly's sending me death threats because we haven't put an episode out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's a good one.
She yells at me because you're not doing your fucking job.
And you
And Corbs is yelling at Paul. And then I'll be the referee in this match. Let's get it on. Judge Mills Lane style.
Speaking of referees,
Right. Speaking of referees, I'm done. So I mean,
There you go.
we want to talk a little wrestling.
Yes, let's hit the wrestling report, guys. Hit it.
Ding, 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 ding.
All right.
Let me
So-
tell you something, brother.
There you go. Somebody vamp for me since I'm getting
should we rename this the WWE report unless you've suddenly started watching something else?
Ha! I'm gonna start off with a little AEW news.
Okay.
Apparently, at Wrestle Dream, Jon Moxley tried to kill Bryan Danielson. Moving on to
Paul,
WWE.
Paul,
No.
come here. Get closer. Paul, come on. And no, this way, towards
I
the
am.
screen.
I-
It's not real.
it is real.
It's real to
Scripted.
us.
Real
It is
script.
real to me too.
Ah.
All right. Anyway, yes. So Jon Moxley wins the world title from Bryan Danielson, sending him into
Part-time.
partial retirement. Which
That
is
you go
the
out on your
plan.
back.
Did you watch WrestleDream?
No,
Okay,
no, I did not. I
'Cause there- I-
would actually have to watch AEW.
that's true.
I'm sorry, I just can't.
Yeah.
The only
Did you-
reason I watch.
did
The
you-
only reason
yeah,
I
go
watch the only reason I watch AEW is for one person and one person only. And if he's not,
Guy
on, I'm
Blue's
not
ass.
watching it.
It's Billy Gunn, I know. Is he still there?
I was being honest. I was being 100% honest. Sky Blue's butt.
BC, who is it?
MJF.
He's back.
Yeah, I know he's back, but if he's not on the show, because he usually comes out first.
Does he?
Oh
I
yeah,
haven't
usually
watched
he
him
comes
once.
out first because it's MJF. He is the franchise there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? He's
He's
the guy. You know,
And he's better
so-
than you, and you know it.
That's right.
Yeah, but let me ask you this: since I've stopped watching AEW, does MJF still hasn't have the same impact that he did before he left? Because
Yes.
I mean, I feel like they need him to have that impact, but I see far less MJF stuff posted in my Facebook feed than I used to.
Yeah, he's not. I know he took some time off because he's in the new Happy Gilmore.
Oh,
Happy Gilmore
God.
too.
Yeah.
So, I know he took some time off for that, and then obviously he took. I don't know if when he dropped the title to Samoa Joe at the end of last year, that he took time off because he was really. I mean, I don't know if he was really injured or not, but I know, he didn't come back until a couple of months ago. He came back at the pay-per-view on Long Island. but he's not. I mean, he won their version of the Intercontinental Championship.
US
TNT?
no, the US Championship or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, he named
International.
it. He renamed it. It's
International
the International Championship or something.
International Championship. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
and then he dropped it again to Will Ospreay, and then
Took some time
took some time again. So,
But now we're getting ready, because this was the next half of this one that I was doing, to have a program with Adam Cole, who
That's
just
cool.
returned from an injury and a heartbreak. So
he's no longer with Britt Baker.
nope,
Wow.
he moved back to Florida or something, and she fucking skipped town. So,
Actually, real quick, Paul, did
Wow.
you hear
Jesus Christ.
I know. Did you hear the little factoid about Brian? What's his last name in AEW?
Danielson. Bryan
Danielson.
Danielson.
Okay. They said Seth Rollins beat him on Raw. Roman Reigns beat him to end WWE. And Jon Moxley beat him to put him in retirement. So the whole Shield had their way with him in their last match. So I thought that was a cool little factoid.
He's going to book, is what he's
Oh,
doing.
yeah.
He's going to book for him. And, he was booking for him before when he was injured, and I guess that's when it actually got better for a while. So let the fucking kid. Well, I mean, he probably is younger than us. Let him do it.
He's
Because
younger than
fucking-
me?
I don't know about you, but
I
I
know.
know that fucking Tony Khan needs to not be booking shit because he can't keep his face out of that giant pile of cocaine. Allegedly.
Legend.
Moving on, because we don't need to get sued by Tony Khan. Kevin Owens, heel turn. Work or shoot, since they're trying to not acknowledge it on the show.
It's a work, and it was brilliant. They knew that. I mean, of course, the fans are going to record it. They were probably hoping somebody got a good angle of it, but this is one of the smartest things they've done in a while. I'm blown away that this doesn't seem to have been caused by something organic. Like they actually planned it out and had to wait and see if it would work.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's great. I mean, with his coming up for his contract renewal, that'll play into it. Of course, he's not going there.
No, where's he gonna go? AEW? TNA? Is it even on TV?
No.
Sorry.
Didn't him and Sami Zayn, though, sign new contracts just a couple
No.
years ago? Oh, Kevin Owens. never signed-
Owens is coming up.
Oh, really?
Coming
Okay.
up,
Okay.
yes.
But they know that we know that stuff's public, so they're using it.
Yes, absolutely. And it's smart. I love it. I love what they're doing with it. I love that when Wade Barrett tried to bring it up, they cut him right off with it to try and make it like it's a shoot, like it was real. And they don't acknowledge it at all. They tweeted out like the day after it was being handled internally.
Yeah.
I love that. So, yes. Moving on, because I'm going to do quick hits here. WWE 2K24 just released the newest not included DLC. It's a Bray Wyatt DLC. Did you guys see this?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
And we're getting the version of the Fiend that never made it to fruition because Bray passed. A couple of other characters, some My Faction stuff, which I don't think anybody uses. And it's a $10 DLC, not included with the season pass. And the reason I'm doing it is all proceeds go to JoJo and the kids. Bray's kids, Bray's family, his wife and kids. So
Nice.
I was on top of that as soon as it went live this morning.
You
So
also
I'll play
get
it in 6 months, when I get to touch my PlayStation again.
you also get Bo Dallas's Uncle Howdy.
Yes, which isn't much different than the Uncle Howdy that we have. Which, interesting side note, because Bo Dallas wasn't under contract when they did the mocap for Uncle Howdy, do you know who they used?
No.
The Miz.
Really?
So so he's underneath the Uncle Howdy stuff on the actual playable character.
Oh,
It's
wow.
nothing, but it's kind of a little interesting factoid. And finally, for what I have here, let's talk about the newest championship in WWE.
Oh, the Crown Jewel
means
title?
Fucking nothing. Yes.
Blood Money Championship.
Yes.
Well,
The Crown Jewel 50 carat diamond championship
Yeah,
belt.
I've got a different view on this. I don't think that it means nothing. Okay. Now I know there's a lot of people that are like, I don't want to go there. Why do you support them? I'll tell you
CM
why.
Punk.
I'll
Right.
tell you why. I mean, yes, money. They obviously money's a big thing, and I think Vince signed this deal before
Yes.
they kicked him out, so they're stuck in it anyway. But here's the thing: as someone who used to do English language tutoring online, I talked to a lot of people from the Middle East, okay, and from Saudi Arabia specifically, from Riyadh specifically, and you know what they love? WWE, and they this was when they started going over there, and it got them so excited because at that time they didn't really get stuff like this. Maybe once every 5 or 6 years something would happen. And well, yeah, they're making money. Saudi Arabia's making money. Yes, there's problems there. I get it. But if they were to pull out of there, you know who it really hurts? Because those billion-dollar corporations aren't really going to hurt. They've got money
Right.
coming from other
It's
places.
the people.
Yeah, the people.
The
Because
masses.
they really look forward. You look at those shows. Yeah, it sucks that the girls have to cover up more, and there are things they can't do, and certain wrestlers won't go. But those fans go nuts. You can't understand it like you can, in when they go to France or something like that, because we're more attuned to those languages and can understand the chants. It's a little harder to understand that those Saudi Arabian fans are doing the exact same thing. It's just at least for someone like me, my ear, I don't understand the language there, so it kind of just sounds like noise, but it's not. They're just as passionate as the French fans and the English fans and the Scottish fans, and they never get this shit. So I would hate to see them pull out of that because it really does something for those people. I talked to just about every person I talked to from Saudi Arabia. One of their number one things was WWE. That's one of the things we would talk about to practice their English.
Nice.
That's pretty cool, actually.
That's cool. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Definitely cool.
So speaking of wrestling, so we're talking about. So one of the questions I've got is because I was watching it, I don't understand why Raw went from 3 hours to 2 hours.
Temporarily.
It's because like USA, like their contract, they gave it to them and all that, and their contract was up with USA, but they let them keep it, but just for a condensed amount of time.
Well, Hunter's been wanting to go to 2 hours for a long time. They just he said in the past that he feels that 3 hours is just too much. And I don't know. If you're a wrestling fan watching it live, you love those 3 hours because that's an extra hour of stuff you get to do that night. If you always play catch up and watch it the next day, it kind of sucks because it's like, oh man, Paul and I have both been through it. Man, I have 37 hours of wrestling to watch this week.
Right. To catch up on. Yes.
Yeah, but I think the feeling is that they don't have enough content to really fill 3 hours, so they kind of have to pad it out a little bit.
Right.
Now, the thing I saw that is a problem for me with that is the moment they go to 2 hours, what did we get for women's wrestling? A fucking 5-woman tag match. But they changed that with this past week's with this Monday's where the main event was a women's match, and I think we had 1 or 2 other women's matches. So it looks like they're going to spread it out, but we are sacrificing some of the spotlight by losing an hour. We're also, trimming some of the shit that we didn't need with the bullshit. But I'm the wrong guy to ask because I will sit in front of that fucking TV and watch anything WWE puts out.
Right. And when it goes to Netflix in January, is it going to go back to 3 hours?
That's what I heard.
Okay.
That's what I read. I mean, I don't have an inside source.
I read something more along the lines of it's going to go as long as it
needs to. Yes,
because they're not going to be limited by broadcast hours. So if it needs to be 2 hours and 15 minutes, it will be. If it needs to be 3 hours leading up to a pay-per-view, it will be. But they're not going to have any limits at that.
And there'll be TV 14, right? Or
I bet it will.
Yeah, good.
It's up in the air. They have free reign to do what they want to do. I don't think they've committed to anything yet.
I would love to see what the ratings are for that when that drops. That's gonna be insane. It's gonna like break Netflix.
Yeah, I don't think it'll break Netflix, but I think
it's gonna be pretty high.
I'm looking forward to it. My wife is looking forward to it, because I can now watch Raw in the basement and not have to monopolize our regular television. So
Nice.
Now, I saw something this week, Paul, and I just wanted your opinion on it because I agree with it. I think that we need to introduce a few more championships. Specifically, I think the women need equivalents to all the championships the men have.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they can support it?
At least one, at least a women's intercontinental.
Yes. I was just going to say that.
Maybe not that and a U.S. championship, but I feel like the women's division right now, you've got, Liv Morgan has the belt. Liv Morgan's 4 feet tall. All right, so she's not going to keep that forever. They're going to play it out, but you've got Nia Jax and you've got Rhea Ripley. Those, maybe Michelle Rodriguez, if she can ever figure out how to not botch things up, might be a player in that game. But I really would. Raquel. What did I say?
Michelle Rodriguez.
What's
show title?
I'd like to see because everything they're doing is always leading toward those two, big powerful women.
Yeah.
At least that's what it feels like. I'd like to see them be able to play some other storylines.
Right.
And having a championship that maybe the most powerful women aren't going to go after, but some of the other ones could. I don't know. All the other
Io Sky and Dakota Kai and those guys.
All the other women end up relegated to going after the tag championship.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that here. Yeah, I think about that. Yeah, because you got Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. Those are the three big women. You get some other girls are in there too, but you're right. A lot of these other girls, you can throw Shayna Baszler in there. You can throw.
They're all going by the wayside.
Right.
There's
Bianca Belair. Yeah. Bianca Belair would be a good one.
You're not getting the popular one, like some of the other popular ones either. Like Charlotte Flair isn't back yet. Becky Lynch is on the shelf right now.
What happens when they come back?
Right. Yeah. You're talking about, yes, right now Liv and Rhea are big, but you bring back Becky and Charlotte, you're going to have to put the strap on one of them. You'll probably have to put it on Charlotte because she's been gone for a long time with injury and all that kind of stuff. So if and when she does come back, that you're going to have to probably put the strap on her. So, let's just be honest. Her father is the greatest of all time. And she's pretty much been the greatest there as well. So you're going to put it on her. So where does that go? And then, like I said, if Becky comes back, let's face it, it's all in her title. She's the man. And you're going to have to put it, eventually put it back on her as well.
But see, that's the other thing is I don't think either one of them needs the title. They're big without the title.
That's true.
And I think
they got to go after the title.
Well, you got to go after it, but I don't think you got to put it on them. And I think the same thing is true for Rhea. You don't need to put the title on Rhea. She doesn't need the title.
Yeah, but she is so early in her career, and she had it for a brief time. She deserves a long.
Yeah, and she didn't actually lose it.
Yeah, she didn't lose it. She got hurt.
Yeah.
And the other thing to that, I agree, Becky doesn't need it. In fact, I think Becky's better when she doesn't have the title.
Yeah.
But Charlotte, I think she kind of needs to have it, in her head. She needs to have that title. I don't think you're ever going to pull her out of that race for very long because she's Charlotte Flair.
Right? Yeah, and I think she needs to be a heel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. That's they tried the face turn with her and it didn't work out so great.
I think a lot of these people, men and women, I think some of the heels are better chasing the title as opposed to having the title.
Oh, see, I disagree. Having the heel have the title and cheat the face out of getting it is what has extended wrestling rivalry since wrestling started.
Right, but I think you're right in that instance. The heel having it and then doing the underhanded stuff to keep it from the face. I agree, but also I think on the flip side of that, it's better having the heel chase the face too. There's that contradiction in that. I think that works both ways. You can put the title on the heel and have the face chase them, and that's good TV. But I think you can also do the flip and have the heel doing the underhanded stuff to get the title. So I think it works both ways.
Well, I'll offer a counterpoint to that. Is Cody Rhodes' title reign. Now, I like Cody Rhodes, and I hope he continues having the title, but you have to admit it's been kind of because the heels come after him and he beats him down, and then that's it, and they move on. Whereas, I mean, how did they? Hogan managed to stretch this kind of thing into what, 3-4 year title reign, whatever. Not everybody can do that.
No.
I don't know. I personally think it's better TV to do it the other way around because it's more interesting.
Right.
Because here's the thing: you can't. The heel can't chase the title forever because eventually somebody else has to come in. It's like you've had your rematch, you're done.
Right.
But the face can do that because the audience is always behind him.
True.
That's true. But you're going to see, I think, he might lose the title because The Rock came back. So if that doesn't play out there with Cody and The Rock, but Rock plays out with the whole bloodline storyline, that you're going to see Cody's going to face the heel, which is The Rock again. And there's a possibility because it's The Rock that he could lose a strap, like you said, and then Cody's got to go back after The Rock. It's kind of like Rock and Cena.
Paul, what do you think here? Do you really think The Rock's looking to get another title run?
Again, it goes back to he doesn't need it.
No, he doesn't.
Rock.
No, he doesn't need it, but I think that if you put it on him and then Cody has to go back, it was kind of like when they were going after the WWE Championship, The Rock and Cena lost the first time, but then the next WrestleMania, he finally beat The Rock. And then obviously, The Rock was extremely popular then, and so was Cena. Cena was at the top. And then take it off of him and give it to The Rock, and now he's obviously the big one. And then The Rock fought Punk and whoever else, but then he goes back and gets Cena. So
I don't see The Rock putting
The
kind
Rock's
of
not going
time.
to put the time in.
Yeah, I don't see that either. Not with everything he's got going on
now.
He already said he's not doing WrestleMania 41.
He is gracious enough to do some extended stuff for the good of the business because he loves it. But I cannot see him doing a 6-month run of pay-per-views.
Right.
But I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, maybe he's planning that out. But I mean, if you're The Rock, why would you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I understand that. I think for him,
I think it makes more sense to have him involved in this whole bloodline civil war.
Oh, I do too. But I know he said the same thing after that Monday after WrestleMania, that he said, he goes, I'll be back and I'm coming for you and for that. So
that could have meant just to get the title back in. I didn't necessarily take that as The Rock wanted the belt. The Rock just wanted the belt with his family.
That's how I see it going. And I think now we got Roman back. I think we're going to get Roman Cody eventually. Like, you're going to have to do face versus face because, I mean, that's where we're at now. But I don't see Rock.
Do you see them? Because the Bloodline's got the tag championships. Can you see Cody and Reigns taking those?
No, I think tag titles is beneath those two.
And those tag titles really need to go to some other people who don't already.
Yeah, we need to get it out of that storyline. Give it to somebody where it's exciting to watch every week. I mean, if they're already same with the Judgment Day, like why have the tag titles on them?
Well, they're going to drop them in this tournament.
I hope so. I hope we give it to somebody who they're actually going to defend all the time. And I like the fact that they acknowledge that on Raw, like that they haven't been defending.
They haven't defended them in 40 days or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Here set or whatever. So,
which back in the old days, that means you get stripped of the titles. But
do we see Xavier Woods and Kofi like turning on each other eventually? Because like, could that be a WrestleMania match? Like those two guys against each other?
That's definitely not a WrestleMania.
Yeah, but that's not.
Or like, is it Royal Rumble? Like, is it like, are they going to go against each other? I know they're arguably one of the best. Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Saturday night's main event.
Yes, bring that back.
Sunday Night Heat.
Oh
God,
my
I wish they
God.
would bring that back.
How about Velocity?
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, you know what? That match is going to be Xavier Woods decided he can make more money doing his internet streaming bullshit. And Kofi, I hope you find a way to pay your bills and feed your family.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kofi was champ for a while.
Yeah,
So
he was the guy for a bit.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's I think Kofi could, go back to doing singles matches, but I think that, what they, that even they said it, they brought in that one guy for a couple of weeks, that big guy.
Oh,
Osmosis
shit.
Jones or whatever his
Yeah.
name is.
Yeah.
He
So,
gone.
I mean, yeah, he's gone, or at least not with them right now.
You know why?
Oh,
It's
No.
not good.
No.
Do we say it on air?
I don't care. I mean, it's out there. I mean, there's allegations of domestic abuse.
Yeah.
oh,
That's why Odyssey Joneses are gone already. But
Mhm.
he was never going to be the new Big E. He was going to be like the Big Double E or something like that.
yeah.
Can you
But I
imagine if
think
that was
that's, I think that's, what I think that's what they're missing is
Yes.
Big E.
A third? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Big E in that group makes that group better.
Yeah. They were fun. A 3-man
Yep.
dynamic. But
Yeah.
wow, this is still dragging along. I should have known better than to bring up a wrestling topic.
not in this group, Paul.
Right.
Yeah. We all watch it.
Well, let's wrap it up then.
All right. Are we ready to finish this?
We're
Yeah.
ready to-
One more?
What are we doing now? We're dropping nuggets now?
We are.
All right, well then drop your damn nuggets.
Everybody's got one killer story. Doesn't take talent to tell that story. It just takes experience. Good night, everybody, and mega money, bitches.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.